Hey everyone, and welcome back to another podcast episode here on Accenture Podcast. Today we have a special treat. We are meeting with Henry Manayan from Easy Solar Electric. They're based out of California. Really interesting, cool company. Excited to dive in. So getting right to it. Thank you for being here, Henry. How you doing today?
Doing great, Quade. Thank you for inviting me on the podcast.
For sure. So we're excited to hear about your company. Let's start off with the basics. Tell us about Easy Solar Electric. How'd you get in contact with them, or what's that story?
Sure. Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name's Henry Manayan, CEO of Easy Solar Electric, based in sunny San Diego in Southern California. We design and install solar energy systems for both businesses and homes, everything from rooftop solar to integrated battery storage and EV charging. And I got connected with them through a mutual friend who knew the founder of the company, Sky Seals, who's the founder and president of the company. He's built it up over the last 15 years, and it is quite a operation that he's got here. And I'm taking it to a different level and moving in a new direction in this new century. So I think what sets Easy Solar apart from us is our focus on education and trust, where we're not just selling solar, but we're helping families. At least we like to view it that way. We're helping families and business owners take control of their energy future. And I'm excited to be here today to talk about how customer expectations are reshaping not just solar, but the entire home improvement space.
And thank you for that introduction. I'd love to dive into that last part. As things have changed over the years, what kind of expectations from customers have you seen? What have you guys done to attract more of them in this very competitive space?
Yeah, for sure. When I was executive vice president over at Terra Solar Global, which was a commercial thin film panel manufacturing company, things were quite different back then in the industry. I remember that homeowners uh, didn't just want solar for getting solar's sake and maybe saving some money. Today's homeowner doesn't just want solar. They want smart, sustainable energy solutions that they can control from their cell phone. And and the modern consumer expects Amazon level service, even for major home upgrades like solar. So that's quite a shift in that kind of mentality. I mean, it was a big deal when I was growing up. Maybe even you too, Quade, but you look pretty young. But when a package came in the mail, it was a big deal. But now people get packages every day, and it's not uncommon to see packages coming every day on your street or being left on porches. People, like I said, people expect Amazon level service, even for upgrades like solar. And so we've gone from educating people about what solar is to helping them choose between maybe a dozen battery options and planning for their electric vehicle. So our industry used to be in the past all about kilowatts, but now I believe and I think that where we want to focus on is about trust, transparency, and technology. So the sale doesn't just end with installations. Customers, we believe, want long-term partners, not just one-time contractors. And so in this market, I believe our emphasis is being local and being responsive, because I think that wins over big box promises every time.
I love that those focuses of trust and knowledge that you're providing these people. I mean, you're providing this whole setup for them, and I could see how that could really close that sale as soon as you get in contact with that customer. What is your guys' main ways of finding those customers?
Well, we have different ways. We do get a lot of word of mouth. We have a lot of signage that we utilize when we're doing properties, whether it's a business or whether it's a home. We have our signs up. Our trucks have our logos and phone numbers on it. We're really out there, and we hustle. We're getting a lot of good referrals right now, and I think it's because we do good work. We make sure that the customers are satisfied, that they feel educated about the whole process, and then by that same token, we're able to generate a lot of referrals and leads that we're overbooked actually for the next 3 months. So it's a whole new game. A few years ago, people were just starting to ask about solar. Now they're coming to us with spreadsheets asking about ROI, time of use rates, battery storage, EV chargers, and even backup for wildfires or grid outages. So they're much more educated, Quinn, and they expect a tailored solution, not just a cookie cutter pitch.
I mean, it's a very growing and dynamic, changing environment, and the fact that you guys have these 3 months of backup shows a lot. People are coming to you guys, and that's bringing a lot of success. What's the biggest thing in this 3 month, that's causing this 3 month delay? Is it just not enough trucks on the road? Is it just, you guys want to have a deeper process with everyone, or what's that looking like?
Yep. Yeah, well, I think the reason why is because we're not a really large company. We're still considered a small business, uh, but we've really leaned into that shift of that market shift. Our consultations are more like collaborative planning sessions now. For example, we use drone imaging and design tools to show customers exactly what their system will look like and how it will perform. I mean, uh, our sales manager Yash is great. He gets the drone images. He shows the roof. He shows what the panels are going to look like on top of the roof. He goes over with the customers exactly what they need. They're not looking for overkill, telling them what they can get for this system. And because today's homeowners are used to that kind of transparency, we break down everything: financing, warranty, performance, just about everything. So that's how like I said, we've really leaned into the shift of that consumer attitude in this day and age, and that's why we're backed up. We're understaffed actually, and I hate doing this because I think we have to turn away work because uh, we're trying to get the resources now and the financing to hire more people and to be able to take on the bigger jobs, which require us to make tremendous expenditures of equipment, materials, and people. So that's what we're gearing up towards now to handle that rush of customers and to stop turning away people, um, or making them wait 3 months for installation now.
It makes me, these problems you have with this understaffing, and a lot of it's physical. I mean, you can't, you need a new truck, you need new installers, things like that. I know a lot of people are turning to solutions like AI and things to try to lighten the load of their employees. Do you see AI, or have you guys implemented AI in any ways in your current operations to lighten the load?
That's a very good question, Quinn. I've been getting a lot of calls from AI people that say they have the perfect solution for us and are willing to help us bring in qualified, vetted, and you know customers that are ready, willing, and able to pay us for solar. But we want to be very careful about that because we want to make sure we maintain our integrity, our reputation, and we give the personalized service that's so important. I think AI is getting close. I don't know if it's quite there yet, and we don't want to be someone's guinea pig. We don't want to experiment and pay someone and not get any results for it because as a small business owner, every dollar counts. Where you put that money it has to work and bring back 3 times at least what you invest in. So yeah, I believe that AI is getting there, and I believe that someday we'll be able to help vet potential clients and bring qualified buyers or consumers to your doorstep. I believe we're heading in that direction.
Yeah, it's a difficult handoff with technology that's developing and changing so rapidly. Like, and I think you have a good point. You don't want to be someone's guinea pig, right? I mean, I think it's always fun to look into the future, I mean, as you guys are growing, and to say, if this technology was developed, what would you want it to do? If you had, let's say, millions of dollars to solve certain parts of your business with technology, what would it be?
Well, yeah, that's a good hypothetical. I think if we had millions of dollars to do this, I certainly like to find a way that we can stall these things faster. Right now you actually have to have humans up on the roof and measuring and doing drone imagery or satellite imagery. I think if there are ways to involve robotics, for example, uh, And actually, they're actually using robotics right now to do cleaning. I've actually seen these machines up on roofs, and they're actually cleaning the panels now. But it'd be great someday, maybe technology could not only involve AI, but robotics to do installation work and things like that. See, right now, it really requires the human eye to see the roof, the condition of the roof, right? Before you put the solar panels on or the frames that are going to accommodate these panels. Because if something's wrong with the roof, which only sometimes humans can detect right now and say, oh, there's a tear, or that roof's not secure, it's going to leak if we drill here or put this bracket here. So that's the advantage right now when you have trained, qualified people that not only know solar but also know roofing and understand that hey, it's not just about removing tiles and replacing them, but there has to be more work done. Maybe the underlayment has to be redone or so forth, or the gutters need to be moved. So all these things, if AI can be coordinated with technology to improve installation, I think that's the way of the future, that we can learn to cut more costs and be more efficient and also safer, right? When you get less people up on top of roofs and or 2 or 3 story buildings like that, installing these heavy panels.
It's definitely a very hands-on type business that you're in. Very, very technical and need the skill, need the experience that those humans bring, right? You can't, AI is not putting panels on a roof yet.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I guess to take us out of the hypothetical and talk more about, your guys' future. We've talked about the next couple months. You're wanting to increase, how many roofs you're able to get done. What about, in 5 years? What's your long-term vision for Easy Solar Electric?
We don't know the future. I've had at least 3 successful exits in my career. One of which was a solar company, which was, I said, Terra Solar Global, where we sold that to a much larger energy conglomerate. But I think for Easy Solar, what I'm aiming to do, and we're actually on track to surpass it, is double the revenues the first year, and double it again the second year. So I want to be up to about 8 million in the next 3 to 4 years, and then beyond that, if I can double it to 16 million by the fourth or fifth year, we should be ready for at least a Series A or a Series B funding round, which will allow us to either go public or be acquired or merged into a larger entity, and make all the employees very wealthy as well as our investors, and go on to the next big challenge, or maybe just retire again.
There you go. I mean, you already have three successes under your belt. A fourth is, I mean, I don't even have one of those good exits yet. So you're quite ahead. Um, with that, with those doublings, then again, we talked a little bit about staffing, but what do you feel like is going to be the biggest challenges that's you're going to see doing those things?
I think you said an interesting point. I think staffing is very important. Having the right kind of people, not only people that can do the work, whether they're installers or whether they're data analysts that can understand the numbers and understand ROI and understand kilowatts and so forth, but people that also have empathy, people that care about other people and want to treat them right the way they want to be treated. I think the bottom line is people want clean energy, but they also want control, they want clarity, and a company they can trust. And that's why I believe personally that being local and being responsive matters so much today. We found that if we can treat customers like partners instead of sales targets, they stick with us and they tell their neighbors, they tell their friends. Uh, and that's why we've been getting the referrals we have. And I think as long as we continue to do that and look at the staffing, look at the people, the quality of people that we hire, that will continue to deliver many dividends down the road for Easy Solar and our industry. People think and do the same.
I really think this emphasis on that connection with the customers is I really like that because I from my time specific in California I did see that a lot of people were just going door to door doing just making a sale and
Knocking
then
on doors. Yeah.
there goes
Yeah.
that customer once the papers are signed, solar's on their roof, they're gone. But it seems like you guys have an ongoing relationship, this partnership that really builds value and allows them to, refer their neighbors and things like that.
Yeah.
So with these staffing plans that you guys have, or things you'll have to tackle, what is your current plans to ramp up hiring, to ramp up training, and making sure that quality is continued?
Yeah, well, like I said, you've got to have the basics. You got to be able to do the job that we're hiring for. If you're a roofer, we want to make sure that you have that experience. One guy that runs our roofing division, Martin, he's awesome. He knows that industry like the back of his hand. Kelly, our office manager, is so good with operations. Max is just a tremendous handy person. He can just do about anything. Sky, our founders, he really cares about the team. He's hired executive coaches to allow people to communicate better and put down their plans in writing so that we can have a little more clarity and a little more organization. So I think it's that continued emphasis on looking for someone who can not only do the basics, but who cares about the team, who wants to continually improve, who's open to new ideas. And I think that's going to continue to deliver success. And if it's one thing I've learned in this industry, Quate, is that great service isn't just about installing solar. Like you said, you saw a lot of people knocking on doors and just making a sale and be gone after that. I think it's about empowering people to make smart energy decisions. And at Easy Solar, we believe that the future of home improvement and business sustainability is local, sustainable, and customer driven. And we're extremely proud to be part of that evolution. So that's basically what I have to say on those subjects. And I hope that's been of some enlightenment to you, and that people can glean some pearls of wisdom from this little podcast um, that we're glad to be a part of.
Of course, we're super thankful to have you on. I guess some final questions. Uh, as you've been through your career and you've helped other companies grow and exit, what are the biggest skills or things that you have to bring to the table as a leader to help these companies grow?
I think the most important thing is like I said, you got to have the core financial background to make sure that the fundamentals are there, the foundation. That's it. All starts with financing. You got to understand how financing impacts a business, and financing not just from money coming in, but what your expenses are. And it's called, as people learn in Finance 101, WACC, the WAC, or the weighted average cost of capital. All businesses have to borrow or get some kind of financing. And what is the cost of that capital? Are you paying a high interest rate for that? Are you making a lot of credit card payments every month? Every dollar has to be counted. And you got to make sure that you run a tight ship financially. Second thing is governance. Your legal. Got to make sure the organization is structured in the right way. It has to be, if it's your corporation, you have to define how it is. You got to be diligent about sticking to the compliance that allows your corporation to function, whether that involves having licenses and making payments for keeping your insurance active all the time. These are our critical things that allow the organization to sustain itself and grow. The finance, the legal, then the marketing. You got to have income coming in. You got to make sure that you have good people coming in. Like we have a great sales manager, Yash, who keeps business coming in the door. And all of us are always sales oriented. Even our field project manager, Martin's out there. He's actually helping to turn existing business into more business from the same owner. That's going deeper into the relationship, and knowing people can do that. So, the finance, the legal, the marketing, and last but not least, again, the human touch. I think people have forgotten about that in this day of technology and Amazon level service, where people are used to just doing things on their cell phone, ordering it, and not worrying about it because you know that package is arriving tomorrow, and that's it. But we sort of lost that human connection in all of this, and I think we're trying to make we're trying to maintain that. We're trying to maintain that close connection with people so that they know, hey, a couple of years from now, if they're having issues, they can give us a call. We're still going to honor our warranty. We'll be out there. They know us by name, and they can call us and say, "Hey, Henry, I'm having some issues with my solar system." I say, "Hey, great job. We'll send someone right out there. We're going to take care of you." It's that everything becomes so robotic and AI driven now. I think we're losing the human connection. I think that's so important, Quade, for us to maintain that in this day and age going forward, because it's so easy to get lazy and depend on technology. But what's really important to maintain is that we're all humans, and and I think we have a inner yearning for that personal touch, and we want to be part of that movement. We want to continue that movement going forward.
Amazing, amazing stuff. Great words for anyone leading a company, helping lead a company. I really want to thank you, Henry, for your time today and all the amazing insights. You guys have an amazing setup, really, like you said, hands-on, really pure personal experience that I really love. Um, Now, if, let's say anyone was in the area, they're wanting to work for a better installation company, or maybe they're wanting to get installed themselves. What's the best way to get in contact with you guys?
Yeah. Well, we have our website, easysolarelectric.com. Please come and visit anytime. And if you're in the neighborhood, we have an office. You can come and say hello. We'd love to see you. And if you have friends or relatives, tell them about us. We're happy to follow up on any leads that we get, and we will, make sure that we deliver the type of service level that we expect for ourselves.
Well, thank you so much, Henry, for taking the time to be here, and thank you everyone for listening in. And be sure to check out the company. If you're in the area, pop in the office, spread the word. And thank you everyone for everything, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having us, Quade.